how it goes.
All right, Brett. Metal Monday on a Tuesday. How you doing after Memorial Day?
You know, man, I'm doing good. We had plans to go camping, but those didn't really come to fruition thanks to pretty shitty weather pretty much everywhere over here, kind of in the Northwest.
Yeah, a lot of rain. I mean, it was decent Saturday, day, but then it really started raining hard. So
I think some people braved it. I just anymore, I just didn't have the heart to go get it done, I guess. So I just had a crazy week this week and went and hung out with my parents and with my kids hang out with their cousins and did some day drinking. Hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean that was what it was, but cooked up some breakfast on Saturday and yeah, we just hung out. We just had a good time, played some games. But really the weather in the hills was kind of rough, too rough for me to get very motivated, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So June's tomorrow. Ferris gonna be down. Is that still the verdict everywhere?
As far as I know, everybody's been
talking it
giving
down.
The warnings. The world's coming to an end. Warnings.
So they're
Sky's
down
falling
off 30, 40.
I think it's going
20.
to depend on the grade, but it depends on who you sell to. Some people try to cut prices early, so maybe the actual June cut won't be as bad. Some people held price. So it just really is just going to depend on what you've got to sell, probably what item do you have, to move, and I think it's going to be a little bit more bloodier than maybe anticipated at the beginning of the month, that's for sure.
Okay.
So, buckle up.
Okay. Well, I mean, next week we'll have that number, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're looking at $30 to $50,
Okay.
I mean, I think that's going to be at least the talk.
Okay.
Unless something dramatic happens between now and tomorrow, or because I don't know that anybody will be out in the market tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bet the trade goes through this week, maybe drags into the beginning of next week.
Okay.
If I was a betting man.
Okay. And non-ferrous, how's it looking?
Decent. I mean, you saw that copper kind of bounced off of bottom and was hanging around that 430 most of the day today. Nickel's struggling. And really, it's the demand side's really struggling. So nickel at $12 and some change isn't terrible, but there just isn't a lot of demand for 304 or 316 stainless. So that's driving those prices down. Aluminum's holding its own. It was off a little bit today, but generally speaking, it's hanging in there. Midwest Premium I think is still around 35 and some change cents. So. Aluminum pricing is still fairly robust. PGMs are, they move up and down a little bit. They're kind of still, fairly flat the last couple of weeks.
No major movement.
No major move up or down. So we'll see kind of what that brings. But I'm still cautiously optimistic on the PGMs and optimistic. At least. On copper, there's still a lack of inventory. If the Chinese come back and they kind of work their way through this whole COVID zero program, I think you could see copper prices really bump again.
It feels that way. It feels that way with copper and the PGMs at least. I mean, it seems like the demand is still there. Just everyone's waiting on China.
I feel like ferrous could definitely struggle next few months, but
ferrous and nickel might have a rough couple months into the summer.
I firmly believe if there's any demand for ferrous, what's going to kill the deal is if there's true demand destruction, which means there just isn't a lot of demand for hot roll, cold roll coil, beam, some of that stuff, because then it doesn't really matter what the supply side looks like. That's going to be a rough go.
Well, the news they raised rates last month.
Yeah, if there's still a decent demand, I feel like the supply side on the scrap is starting to dry up.
It feels that way.
And the price is still fairly reasonable. And at least until you get to June, July, and if this thing comes off, then we'll see. But I don't know. That one I'm gonna leave a little more bearish on, at least in the short term, the next couple months. But I feel like on the PGM side, non-ferrous side, we could see some decent, price action.
Yeah, I talked to two of our customers that buy new steel. They got a bump up, like they raised their price last month.
Yeah.
And they got warned there's going to be 2 more raises this summer. So, and then I told them, like, well, scrap's down in our world, So,
and they look at you like you're like bullshitting.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm telling you the truth,
Yeah.
But that's always just fascinating to me that it can be that way on one side and another way on the other side.
Well, just what's killing the market right now is the strength of the dollar.
Yeah.
We talked about last week. It seems like to be the theme lately, but there really isn't a great export market for the scrap, and that's just what's hurting the scrap pricing more than anything, I think.
Gotcha. All right, we'll wait and see.
All right, guys. Looking forward to June. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.